Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to another reading. This will be the general reading for July 2023 for those of you who have Virgo highly aspected. And if you don't have Virgo highly aspected and it's the title or the thumbnail that drew you to this reading, I encourage you to stick around. More than likely, there's something here that will be useful or helpful to you. I find that these readings have about a 1 to 2 month maturity date. So if there's something that's mentioned that doesn't make a lot of sense, give it a rewatch late August, early September, mid to late August. And if you're looking for insight into the July energy, the energy for right now, if you haven't already watched the June reading that I did for Virgo or the May reading, I encourage you to do so, as the energies discussed there are fully matured by now. So it may make more sense to watch one of those, or a situation that you were dealing with has just recently been put to rest, and there may be some insight in one of those reads for you. That being said, let's talk about you. I hope that you're well, and I hope that this reading is finding you well. The silence is deafening. The silence is very loud. Actions speak louder than words. There are some things that no words can justify. There are some things that I don't want to say that it'll be pointless to talk about. It's just there are some things that you must experience in order for you to understand them. So perhaps you're observing, gathering information, and what you're trying to do is keep the faith, to remain optimistic. You have the answers. There's something that you know a lot about. And you also understand that knowledge is power, and what you choose and don't choose to divulge is key. Maybe you don't feel like you need to explain. Maybe you don't feel like you should have to explain. But there's a quiet strength about you, a quiet confidence about you. Your demeanor is very demure. sitting in your power, knowing that you don't need to, you don't need reassurance, you don't need approval or validation. You're valued in certain aspects, you're seen in certain aspects, and I think the people who don't see that, the people who don't get that, it sounds a bit cliche, but it's their loss. There are influences in your life, people in your life who you don't need to explain certain concepts to. And I think that's really refreshing. I think that you deserve that kind of break. It's nice when someone just gets it. There are some things that you just have to experience to truly understand what it means. You can read the dictionary definition of something. Someone can explain a concept to you. But there are some things, if you haven't lived through it, it's hard. All other options, they pale in comparison to what you have in your life right now, or to one particular thing, or to one particular person, or to one particular opportunity. It's like everyone else pales in comparison to you. I know how that sounds, but it's the truth. Everyone else is lame and you know it now. Whether that's lame in comparison to you or lame in comparison to someone. Feeling very powerful. Feeling like there's so much that you can do, so much you can have. And feeling as though it's safe to be vulnerable. Your vulnerabilities are things that have been exploited historically. And I think that you are finding yourself in a dynamic or at a certain point in your life where authenticity is what's paramount, is what is prioritized, appreciated, valued. You're deeply loved. The sweet spot for you is where you don't have to overexert yourself, where you don't have to convince people that you're worth it. so proud of you. And I'm really happy for you. I think that there are some things that maybe you thought you could never have, some things you thought you could never do. The feeling of freedom in this reading is so overwhelming. It's overwhelmingly positive. I think that it's shocking to you. There is some good news where work is concerned. If you felt like you've had to hold your tongue or like there's been some kind of blockage, it'll get easier to communicate. But I do think that in some ways what you're still waiting for is reciprocity. You could be waiting for some kind of compensation. Maybe you think that the kind of work you're doing, the quality of the work that you're doing rather, exceeds what you're being paid. And I don't think that you're the only one who recognizes this. Now, this is a sad truth. And I know that talking about it right now, I don't want you to go down this self-loathing path or beat yourself up or blame the powers that be. Yes, it is entirely possible that when you go into a position, you're qualified and maybe overqualified and maybe at the negotiating table, you struck a deal where you would be paid a certain amount that at the time seemed reasonable. But what happens when you're in a position for some time, you are the kind of person that works so hard and earnest that you perfect your craft and you get so good at it. And what you have the ability to impact positively, what you bring to the table, evolves. And your skill set gets developed in a way where you outgrow that previously agreed upon figure. And best case scenario, you're receiving annual raises. There are incentives that boost your morale and are commensurate with your experience and what you're bringing to the table. But worst case scenario, those increases in pay don't keep up with the quality of work you're doing, especially if the quality of that work is consistent. So I see you either leaving a job or at the very least looking or having conversations about increase in pay. What I don't know is if you're going to be having these conversations before the year is out, or you're building your case and you're making a list of your achievements, thinking about your track record, thinking about what you've contributed, so that when you seek that increase in compensation, you have bona fide examples that you can draw upon to substantiate your case. So either you're doing this at your current employer, it may be that, maybe it's gotten sour and you want new energy and you are willing to look elsewhere for that. As we mentioned, your skill set becomes more nuanced. It becomes more diverse, more expansive. So the fact of the matter is, if you are not seeing the kind of change that you would like to see where you are currently, if you try that, I think that you'll be a strong candidate elsewhere. So lots of great things happening here with self-confidence, lots of great things happening here with your sense of self and sense of self-worth. Feeling as though you're growing and developing in ways that you never thought possible, feeling proud of your progress. It's like you've shed your skin and you're ready for more. The growth that has happened with you is insane. The love you have in your life is real. And it's because you aren't settling. That's what this is about, right? We really don't see forward and upward movement in our relationships and in our career if we are satisfied with where we are and what we've been offered and what we are being offered. And I think the important thing is to continue to want more. Getting a taste of how good it can be and savoring how good you have it in certain aspects. It has been doing great things for your ambition, and it is doing great things for you where ambition is concerned. You don't want more for the sake of wanting more. You want more because you can have more and because you have worked for it and because you're worth it. I hope this helped. I'll see you in the next one.